Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
This episode is brought to you by United Airlines. When you want to make the most of your vacation, book with United. They're an airline that cares about your travels as much as you do. United is transforming the flying experience with Bluetooth connectivity, screens, power at every seat, and bigger overhead bins to help fit everyone's bag. And with their app, you can skip the bag check line, get live updates, and more. Change the way you fly. Book your next trip today at united.com.
This is Optimal Finance Daily. You Should Talk About Money by Robyn Goldfarb of adimesave.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. Now let's get right to it and continue optimizing your life. You Should Talk About Money by Robyn Goldfarb of adimesave.com. Growing up, talking about money was taboo. No one discussed how much they made, how much big things cost, or whether or not you could afford something. Not being able to afford something was a given, but was embarrassing to admit. This was something that our parents passed on to us. I remember whispering amongst ourselves when our school offered an expensive extracurricular trip. One girl turned red as she whispered, "My parents probably can't pay for that." We all stared at her awkwardly. We had nothing to say. We had no clue how to respond to that terrible admission. Never mind that my parents couldn't afford something like that either. Never mind that, in retrospect, it would have been a struggle for many of my friends' parents to pay for that type of trip either. It was considered socially off actually to admit something like that. The words, "I can't afford it," were one of the most embarrassing things to say. Why? I guess that my parents and their friends very much considered struggling to be shameful, a personal failure, something that reflected badly on them as individuals. Not having enough money or even choosing to be frugal was looked down upon. Fast forward, and I'm an adult and am newly unemployed. Money is tight, and my husband and I are desperately trying to stay within our means and not go into debt. My friend and I were brainstorming something to do on the endless Sundays with our kids. Her ideas all had some dollar price attached. Even her cheap ideas cost some money. I was about to agree to her plan when I realized how idiotic that would be. Was I agreeing to do something that I couldn't afford just because I was too embarrassed to say that? Why was I so scared to say that money was tight and I didn't want to spend money? Why should I spend money that I don't have just because I was too embarrassed to admit that money was tight? Was I so scared of her reaction that I couldn't share with a close friend that I didn't have extra money to spend? I took a deep breath. "I would like to do something free," I said. "No problem," she responded. "Should we check out this new playground I heard about?" It was not as bad as I thought it would be. That was it. It was not as embarrassing as I thought it would be. I was so used to conflating my money or lack thereof with my own self-worth as if it was my fault that I was unemployed. Newsflash, it wasn't. I was projecting my own insecurities onto my friends and imagining what their reactions would be. Luckily, most of my friends had grown up and had come to the same realization that I did. Lack of money or frugality does not need to be a topic that we can't discuss. Once it was out in the open, the conversation started. I realized that there were so many people who were in the same situation that I was in. So many of us were struggling. So many of us were doing our best to lead budgeted lives. So many of us were nervous about money. So many of us were anxious about our financial security. Once we realized that we were in the same boat, we were able to support each other, share tips, recipes, and encouragement. When we are raised that we shouldn't discuss money, that not having money is some sort of personal failure, a moral failing, or stain on our character, then we're depriving ourselves of an environment where we can share and be supported in our struggles or our goals. How should I approach the topic of money with my friends? There's no need to bring up the topic unless you want to or need to. Don't force people to share things with you that they would rather not share. Not everyone wants to be open or forthcoming about their finances, and that's their right. But you can talk about money in a way to remove the stigma of poverty. Some tips to help talk about money with friends. Do make sure to create an open and non-judgmental atmosphere when it comes to money. Don't mock or pressure others into spending money that they don't want to spend. Do take the words cheap and mean out of your vocabulary. Do respect other people's spending limits. And don't commit someone to an amount of money on their behalf before speaking to them. You just listened to the post titled, "You Should Talk About Money" by Robyn Goldfarb of adimesaved.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary. Buy low, sell high. It's easy to say, hard to do. For example, high interest rates are crushing the real estate market right now. Demand is dropping and prices are falling, even for many of the best assets. It's no wonder the F.I.R.E flagship fund plans to go on a buying spree, expanding its billion-dollar real estate portfolio over the next few months. You can add the F.I.R.E flagship fund to your portfolio in just minutes and with as little as $10 by visiting fundrise.com/OFD. That's FUNDRISE.com/OFD. Carefully consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the F.I.R.E flagship fund before investing. This and other information can be found in the fund's prospectus at fundrise.com/flagship. This is a paid advertisement.
Ah, and here we have travelers in their natural habitat enjoying guaranteed 4 p.m. checkout at fine hotels and resorts booked through Amex Travel, and they don't even see what's coming at them.
We're in. We got the table.
Yep, with Resi Priority Notify, they're alerted when hard-to-get reservations open up.
Reservation for 2? Save the best for last.
Thanks to Amex Platinum, the last day vacation brings yet another experience. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/withAmex.
I think money is such a sensitive topic because many people carry a lot of shame around it. We're taught that it's a very private thing, and many people confuse their net worth with their self-worth. We're conditioned to see money as a metric of success. If you make more money, you are more successful. If you make less money, it can be easy to assume you have less value. Someone close to me who I love very much is in the worst financial position I've ever seen. They are drowning in debt, in a dead-end job that they hate, and they don't make enough money to dig out in any meaningful way. From my perspective, the financial stuff is all figure-outable. What really holds this loved one back has nothing to do with money. It's their lack of self-esteem. They say things like, "I've wasted my youth and now I have nothing to contribute." And they're so embarrassed about their resume and credit score that they don't apply for better job opportunities. As much as I try to help with guidance on the financial matters, I focus most of my communication on hyping them up and reminding them of their personal qualities that are truly of value. Money will come and go, but integrity, kindness, and warmth are things that money can't buy. And that should do it for today. Have a happy rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow, as usual, where your optimal life awaits.